Hey, welcome back to Impact Returns. This is the final round of Swiss, and my phone just told me that I almost reached my daily goal of 10,000 steps, which doesn't even make any sense to me. Like, we've been sitting here commentating all day. Like, we're venturing out sometimes, right?
Yeah.
But apparently, okay, this is what you do. Commentate matches and get 10,000 steps, and I don't know how it works.
That's cool. I like your phone, yeah.
I'm Julian, this is Kaiser Vatari,
What's up,
and
guys?
we're getting ready. Final round of the Swiss. We want to know who's going to become the Spanish Legacy Champion. We're going to jump right into it, into the first match. And yeah, we're going to find. Is there any kind of deck you want to see that we haven't seen yet? You talk about Storm. Sorry, Kai, I can tell you. It's not, we're not going to watch
dude,
Storm.
You got to give me that Doomsday stuff, you know.
You're going to work on
Storm.
that. Promote that.
Yeah, people should play more Dark Rituals in general. And I'm not talking about the Dark Rituals you power up Oakish Bowmaster, right? That's a different Dark Ritual, okay?
Yeah.
We don't do this here.
Let's see.
Let's go.
Maybe that's going to be it. Maybe it's going to be Doomsday against Death in Texas or something. Like Beanstalk Control. Now that's something. Oh, the kind of deck that I thought dominated Legacy for a while that then completely went away, even though I guess it's still like pretty good.
Yeah, I'm happy to see it. I think this is like the first control deck on camera today. Up the Beanstalk is still a really powerful enchantment, which you can drop on turn 2. It got a little overshadowed maybe by like other things that are going on in Legacy right now. But yeah.
Like I remember when Up the Beanstalk and everything, all of that, like they were like this deck that even played something like what's it called? Triumph of St. Catherine, that kind of stuff that you don't get to see online for. I mean, now you do. But on the other side, Mikel, I think we've seen Mikel Bacaicoa before today. He's sitting at 2 losses now.
Oh, wow.
But since he's in this feature match playing against the 3-1-1 player, Camacho, I believe that he probably has like really good tiebreakers and could still make it in at 4-2. So let's treat this as a win it in. And I'm curious, like I guess Bobble is like pretty good against Beanstalk, right? It also forces them to use their. Oh,
isn't that insane?
You know, I bet David is sitting on an up the Beanstalk, and he's so unhappy about having to use. Okay, never mind. I was gonna say he's gonna be so unhappy about having to use the Force early, but no green mana at the very least.
Oh yeah.
Whereas Mikel.
Yeah, the Mystic Forge deck like has a lot of Force of Will checks. I think like so many cards in that deck ask for an immediate reaction.
Yeah.
Right? Like the One Ring is pretty bad if it resolves, and you know you get a couple of activations of it. Karn is a little problematic. Obviously, if the combo goes off, then it goes off. Meanwhile, like the Beanstalk control deck it's kind of built to defeat Delva players or tempo decks in general, right? There's a lot of removal in it, like Swords of Plowshares, and Leyline Binding, stuff like that, and you kind of close out the game slowly with like Uro or Fulfillingas, what have you.
The thing is, I always feel like there's two kinds of sideboard cards. There's soft hate and there's hard hate. Soft hate is something like that's good against the opponent that you bring in, but that's more like widely applicable, right? That's decent, but it's not like kill them dead.
Oh, like a Force of Negation, for example.
Yeah, for example, something like that. And I think if you are playing a long game control deck against Mystic Forge, which is completely gonna overload you with mass counters, and even just like Urza Saga is so annoying to deal with, right?
Oh yeah.
And also like what's it called? Defense grid in there.
Oh,
so many cards that ask you questions early on. I only think that the way you can do this is either fourth Erlingas, which I think this deck doesn't play anymore, or you have really, really hard hate. Talking about energy flux, as we talked about earlier, right?
Oh, gotcha.
So unless you got that, I mean, there's always going to be these 10-15% of games where we just win because the opponent like stumbles and you counter exactly the right thing. But overall, with like average sideboards, I'd very much give this side.
Yeah, I mean, look at this,
Mystic
right?
Forge.
Like David already used 2 of his 4 Force of Wills in the deck. It's half of the hard counters in his deck probably.
Yeah, and even though he got to draw a card, right? There's only so many cards that matter here. Like all these Swords of Plowshares and that kind of stuff that you might draw into doesn't really matter. Even if you get additional Up the Beanstalks, kind of dead cards in the grand scheme of things if you can't interact with what your opponent is doing.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yes, it's even a second Up the Beanstalk. But what are you gonna do? Like, I mean, Wasteland is nice, but yeah, it's not a game plan really. Like okay. Triumph of St. Catherine, we talked about that one, right?
Did you see that? He didn't wasteland the saga,
But that's because like he can't really make the second token, right? I mean, there's a world where you sacrifice the Lotus Petal to make the second token, and I don't hate that.
Interesting. That I like that a lot. I like that a lot because also like the Crystal Vein, you got to sack it if you want to add 2 mana to to make a construct. And I guess like I mean David's deck can deal with a construct. It's no problem.
A construct, yeah.
Yeah.
Like usually they used to have like dress downs and that kind of stuff on the side on the main deck to deal with the sagas. I'm not sure how Beanstalk is constructed these days, even if there's like a general build in the first place. But Mikel needs mana now. Like we talked about what his deck is capable of and overloading the opponent. Yeah, you gotta have mana in the first place to do that. That Starfish alone is not gonna do it. Okay, yeah, it's Starfish dying for mana.
Okay, how about
Basalt Monolith?
a Basalt Monolith? This is like, I mean, this is a reprint, but it's one of the oldest Magic cards ever. Like, did it get print like in beta or?
Yeah. You remember
alpha?
when what's the combo again? Power Artifact. Dude, you know Power Artifact.
Yeah. That's the first infinite mana combo.
Yeah. So I never thought that like Basalt Monolith, like it used to show up in Cube like 10 years ago or something, and people sometimes played it for the acceleration and for the rare combo. But now those keys, holy moly!
Yeah, check this out.
Mikel went from I have like 2 mana if I sacrifice my land, 3 if I sacrifice all of my things, to just like having had to sacrifice nothing and making a ring. Like those Beanstalks look pretty embarrassing compared to the ring, right? Yeah. Wait.
Okay.
2 wasteland tools from a more civilized society.
Yeah, David is sitting on a useless fatal push, I think.
Yeah, this is not doing it. Like if honestly, bug control just like overall struggles against this, and the big part is just that you can't close out the games. Like I guess if you had like 2 Tarmogoyfs, but then you wouldn't be a bug control deck. You would be like
the solution is Tarmogoyf. It's always
the solution
always been.
Dude, can we print those pictures? You gotta do some Savatarix merch. It's just a T-shirt and it says the solution, is Tarmogoyf. Oh yeah, let's go crazy. Come on, let's do it. Oh, this is disgusting. I think the only way you can fight this is Bowmasters. And even then, yeah, Bowmasters would probably be good. Bowmasters, I would say, is
yeah, Bowmasters is almost Tarmogoyf.
Bowmasters actually lets you play against this kind of deck when they are relying on the ring, as they do here, which of course they don't always do, but a lot of times they do. Because like lands, where we were going, we don't need no lands.
How about more mana? Grim Monolith.
Can't stop me. Can't have a bad mana base if you don't have a mana base.
That's very true, my friend. Yeah, letting that Vexing Bauble, chill on the field, making sure that no forces can be cast, no dazes, except the hard cast ones, Yeah. It's a really nice place to be for Mikel.
Yeah, Mikel is sitting like pretty here. Also looks like he knows what he's doing. Like just checked out the sideboard. There's probably gonna be a Karn, and then like do people still do like liquid metal coating? I barely ever see it anymore, but it always feels like the #1 thing to go for.
Yeah, it probably is still part of the deck. However, like it seems so underwhelming in comparison to everything else that's going on in the Mystic Forge deck. Like, like doing all this crazy stuff for Karn to only get like a coating, to blow up a land.
Yeah.
It just.
I think Mikel might have gotten something else if David was showing 2 green mana, which could have been like the off chance of something like a hardcast endurance at the end of turn, and then kill it. Ooh, the Tempest Swamp. No, I gotta give props to David for the Tempest Swamp. Like, forget everything I said. Even just like also that island over there,
it's
amazing.
I think it's like Mirage or something.
Yeah, it's Mirage. Yeah. It basically looks like the set symbol of Mirage, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so we got Psychic Frog. Probably not psychic enough to still turn around this game, but we will see. Let's see. Maybe there's a world. Dude, we got 3 copies of Flash Striker? Sure thing. And honestly, if this is Paradox Engine and it should resolve, I think all those copies of Flash Raker are going to come to... Okay, so let's say you have 3 Flash Rakers. You cast 1 colorless spell. You get 3 tokens. Each one of them triggers 3 times. On each spell, you deal 9 damage.
Yeah, it's pretty absurd. That's why, like, I think if you run Flash Raker, you might want to run the full playset because they get out of control so quickly in multiples.
And if that's that thing you cast as a creature as well, right? Then you deal another 3. This is just this is just disgusting. Every time Wizards is like, what about an Eldrazi block? Legacy players are like, oh.
We had that a couple of times, right? I think like the first time in
Eldrazi Winter.
That was the second time, I believe. Like
that was the second.
I mean, like the Rise of the Eldrazi was the first Eldrazi, but it wasn't as bad, right? Because you know,
Emrakul in the
exactly. Yeah, we had like 10, 12, and 15 drops, and even like the other commons and uncommons were like 12 drops and 10 drops and whatnot. But the the Oath of the Gatewatch set was really when people took Eldrazi seriously.
People took, you know, my life. I'm serious about Eldrazi's. Yeah. You know, it's the thing. Like I have conversations with them. Yeah. Are they actually like plushies? Like you can have like a tiny reality smasher in your home.
Oh,
I'll with it.
I would get one immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. You just like tap this and you say, I gain 27 mana. Then you do Paradox Engine. You do it all over again. I mean, you might as well kill with a Walking Ballista.
Exactly. I mean, so at this point, the game is technically over. Opponent knows that. Like every spell you cast unlocks a lot of mana and also makes you draw more cards. So you're naturally gonna go through your entire deck and eventually.
And the thing is,
you know, with the Fresh Raker, I guess.
The thing is, that what I was talking about earlier. Imagine David has like 2 cards in hand, right? Imagine he had, at the beginning of his last turn, he had drawn 10 cards. I don't think the game ends in any other way.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think it changes anything. If he had 10 more cards in hand, I don't think it would make any kind of difference, at least in the first game.
Yes, sir.
And that's why I think Mystic Fortress is really busted here.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Really cool. Really cool. I think this deck is also designed to win a lot of...
Okay.
Nice.
So we're loading up the second game right away. We're going to see whether Mikel can actually do it and move on, because as we believe it, right, because his tiebreakers are that good, if he wins this one, he's going to make it to the top 8. Like, we already
make it.
You know Spain, right? I'm going to ask you a fun question. I did last time as well. How many inhabitants are there in Spain? How many people live in Spain?
How much did I say last time? Did I say like 40,000 last time?
You said something so ridiculously wrong. I want to ask you again.
I got to say like 12 million? No, 40 million?
40 million?
40 million?
See, that would have been my guess.
Oh, shit. Okay, then reasonable. Well, then I say 30 million.
Okay. So actually, that looks good. But so let's say half of them play Legacy, right? That's a reasonable estimate. Like 50 million people play Legacy.
Of course.
We shifted through all of those players to get to 45 of the very best ones.
That's correct.
Only
the best
here
ones.
Only the best ones. To fight this out, and now we're cutting it down to 8. And we were going to see which of these 2 players is actually going to make it to the top 8.
Among all
so
the 40
let's
million.
load up the next game, and let's see how much it's 47 million currently. Okay. I like the currently. Like tomorrow it's going to change,
yeah,
right?
Yeah. It's going to drop hard.
Tomorrow.
Cool.
Tomorrow. No, actually tomorrow it's going to be 50 million.
Maybe.
Yeah. Like 9 months ago, everybody was celebrating. What happened 9 months ago? Start of the year? No, that's too. My birthday was like kind of 9 months ago. See, that's where, everybody was like, hey, let's get it on for Julian. Okay. Beanstalk, no surprise, has no play on the first turn. I mean, the matchup is so terrible. I wonder what David has brought in. We will see. Once again, the aggressive turn 1 Saga. I'm not scared of you. Yeah. Island cycling. Probably getting, I would guess, an Underground Sea or something. The tropical island is signed, right?
Oh, yeah, looks like it.
Is that Jesper Myfars?
Yeah, Jesper. Like, he usually signs cards on, you know, in the
first sight.
Yeah. On the type bar, basically, not on the bottom.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I like that wasteland. That's pretty cool. Like trying to like, you know, keep Mikel down.
I think that's actually one of the ways you can actually win this. I don't know if David plays live from the Dome, but maybe that's that's something that allows you to like completely like lock out the opponent. But Mikel is like, I got Wasteland on the first turn. I don't care. I play a 3-drop on the second turn. This is just
So this is tough, right? Like, do you? Oh, okay. Consigned memory, counter target, colorless spell.
Yeah.
Really nice. Really nice use.
Okay, now that basically the critical turn is going to be
nice 2-for-1.
The really critical turn for Mikel is going to be like turn 3. If he plays something important on turn 3 and it sticks, oh, got Wastelanded again, and it works. It works. Okay, David, now you got to follow it up. Like, get the frog down. Come on. Get the frog on. You remember Crazy Frog?
Yeah.
Din, 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 din. That's what David is saying right now in his head as he casts the frog. Don't let it be the Beanstalk. We need the frog in our life. And we need the full discard of the hand to the frog on the next turn.
Oh, even better.
Oh, that's
okay.
That's a pretty big frog. That's a frog that has wings. Yeah, okay. 5-5, right?
Yeah, this is pretty much the ideal game for David, I think. He's still sitting on that Forcer Will. You know, he has a pretty potent attacker.
Yeah.
Don't even know what you're looking for with this Ponder. Honestly, I don't even know if it was all that necessary.
Frog!
I guess you can follow up with Frog, but you know.
Some of the younger viewers might be like, what is the Crazy Frog? Like, you guys don't know about the magic of ringtones. Did you ever get caught in one of those subscription models? And, like, your parents had to pay all the money
never,
in the world?
No.
You were a good kid?
I think so, yeah. That's what my parents told me.
Oh, dude, the third Wasteland. Disgusting. I love it. Yeah, Kozilek's command. What's it called? Is it Kozilek's command?
Yeah.
You really threw me off with the Kolagans command earlier. I was like, well, who's Kolagan?
Who knows? Maybe we might see a Kolagans command maybe later. You know.
Kolagans command is the guy who was used in Vintage Dredge, like Kolagan, Dragon Lord.
Exactly.
If they play a card that's in a graveyard, they take 10 damage or something, something crazy. I think that was the Dragon Lord. Okay, Mikel has some mana, right? He's got access to 4 mana out of nowhere. So I guess it's still kind of rough.
I mean, that can be explosive.
Dude, I want to see the full discard to the frog. Come on, go hard on the frog. Feed the frog. Feed it more. Yes!
Oh, there's a lot.
Eat it. See, Brainstorm. Who cares about You said who cares about Ponder. You're right. Who cares about Brainstorm? Actually, wouldn't you like play the Brainstorm first?
Yeah, this is a really cool interaction. You know, exiling instant sorceries from the yard, making the Murktide bigger.
Okay, I'm gonna go after your frog. No, I'm gonna force a it. This is the tempo. See, this we talk about this. I love when you talk about strategy and it actually works out like that. This is the tempo game plan.
Yeah.
This was literally the tempo game plan, and that's I think the only way. Not the only way. I mean, there's always like Mulligan to 2, whatever. The most common way that you can probably win this with Beanstalk control against Mystic Forge. But now it gets tricky because now Mystic Forge gets to go first.
Yeah, that was a really ideal game. I think like everything worked out in his favor. You know, you had like a lot of like disrupting elements, like the Wastelands were really good. Yeah, I don't know if the third one was all that necessary. I think like the first 2 were already enough, but backed up by this like really quick Murktide Regent. I think it was like the fastest possible way to cast Murktide Regent. I think on
his stack,
on his third turn or something like that.
Yeah.
Really nice, and you know didn't even cast the Forcer Will. Actually, he did cast the Forcer Will at the end, but man.
Third game is gonna be hot. It's gonna put on some sunglasses for that. Okay, let's see. Mikel.
So both players happy.
On the play, probably keeping 7 from the looks of it. Ancient Tomb, best land you can probably play on the first turn here. All of Legacy. And if this... Oh, God, this is so disgusting. You hate that if you're David, right?
Oh, wow. Yeah.
You're like, okay.
This is rough.
I got 4 mana. I got the Forge on the first. And if this is not a Force, then what are you doing?
Okay, so we have a turn 1
that
Mystic
must hurt
Forge.
so much. Okay, so David must have... I mean, David kept his hand, right?
Yeah.
So there must be a reason. So if I'm Mikel, at that point I'm thinking, if you kept that hand but you didn't have Force of Will, maybe you got a really strong sideboard card. Maybe, if that exists. Instead we play on
potentially,
pass.
yeah.
Yeah, okay. I mean, we got the Bowmaster, which would be a turn 2 play against the ring. Of course, Forge, just like, doesn't take the detour through the hand. It just like casts directly from the top of the library. Forge takes out the second Forge. So here we go. Losing some life. You know what? You know what David could have? Punish a steed.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That's one of those like bug cards that maybe help you.
I think I spotted like a Murktide Regent. I think there was also a Wasteland. I mean, those two cards took over the second game. However, they're like in this game, they are a little too late. Oh, Vexing Bolt makes things only a little more complicated.
We basically already figured, right, that David doesn't have a Force of Foil. Force of Foil the Forge.
I guess if it doesn't have a Force, you know, then the Vexing Bulb is also not that problematic.
Yeah.
What David could try to do is maybe to try to raise and aim for like a turn 2 Frog, maybe, like turn through 3 Murktide Region, you know, try to go after Mikel's life totals. But then, like, Mikel's like allowed to do anything he wants to do.
So once again, we arrive at the tempo game plan.
Yeah.
See, maybe in the future there's going to be 4 Tarmogoyfs in the sideboard.
Or like for Delver of Secrets, you know.
Yeah. Nimble Mongoose, never heard of it. So more mana for the Mana King. Dude, he's got so much mana. This is the second turn. He's got like 2, 4, 6, 7, 8 mana if he wants to. Like he can just like start casting like dragons and Eldrasis and everything. Maybe that's actually what he's exactly down to. He's got a Flash Rite. What's it called? Is it actually Flash Rite?
Yeah. The Flash Raker. Glaring
Flash Raker.
Glaring Flash Raker.
Glaring Flash Raker. It's only going to take me like 2 more impact turns to remember the card name. Okay, he's going to untap the card that's Grim Monolith. More mana. That's probably something really expensive. Because we also tapped City of Traders first. No, we're going to undo all of that. Back to... Looks like 1 mana. Yeah, 1 mana floating from the city still because we cast the bobble. Look at the top card for 4. I was like, why is he looking at the top card? Ah, yeah, he's Forge. Yeah. Okay, so we got 4 mana. Got the Karn. Didn't David actually... Oh no, wait. Force of Negation doesn't help him anymore.
Nope. All the forces shut off. Same for the Daisies. Yeah, it's unfortunate that David got his hands on the Force of Negation after the Vexing Wobble. I'm only sitting on a single Underground Sea against like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, against 8 permanents.
You know, this is one of those moments where if you watch a movie, they zoom in on David and it says, it's like a stop and like, you probably wondered how I ended up in this position. Yeah. And then like it rewinds to his life when he was born, he went to school and everything, and in school they always were eating like from the Beanstalk. So he was like, yeah, I'm going to be a Beanstalk gamer. Whereas Mikel was actually born in a robot factory. And for the first 10 years of his life, he wasn't quite sure whether he was a robot or not. Okay, so we got the flute, Pokemon flute coming down. What would you actually name it? Like Wasteland?
Honestly, I'd probably say Psychic Frog or any like any creature that can be played. Like the card up to Beanstalk doesn't matter anymore. I think you can outvalue Beans and the forces don't matter because you have Vexing Wobbles. Wastelands also don't really matter because you have Mox Opal and Grim Monolith.
Like you're happy if you get Wastelanded,
Yeah,
right?
I think the only way David can, you know, come back is maybe an aggressive Psychic Frog.
Okay, so I would be like, I either name Murktide because that kills you even quicker. But the funny thing about Murktide is, like, if you name Murktide, it can actually grow even bigger because then you have to pay 3 more. But that's not relevant, really.
That's
the other thing I would consider at least is actually naming Deed, just because Deed would be really one way to completely even the board again. And
interesting, yeah, or like Collector Oof, you know.
Yeah,
it's probably a one-off in their sideboard, but like that is, yeah, those are the cards that definitely turn the game.
Or maybe Force of Rigor, right?
Which you can't cast because of Vexing Bubble.
Ah.
Right, you got a hard cast stuff. Yeah, you got a hard cast stuff.
So we took out the Kanda, but nothing else really. Like when your opponent's spending upwards of like 20 mana a turn, while you're only spending like 2 mana a turn, it doesn't feel good. It's so hard to keep up there. It's going to be a saga. Like so many options for Mikel over there. Don't even want the top cards. Let's get rid of dude,
Oh, wow.
he doesn't want the ring there. You know you're in trouble if your opponent doesn't want the ring there.
That's really bizarre. Interesting. I thought that's exactly the card he was looking for.
Maybe he wants to just like go deeper. Gets.
Uh-huh.
I mean, the ring also gets you deeper, so I don't know.
Yeah. Really interesting play. Okay.
Glaring Flash Wrecker. That's the name, right?
That's the boy.
Yeah.
That's the boy. All right. So win condition is on the field. Now, every colorless spell from now on is going to trigger it. It's going to get a 0-1 Eldrazi spawn token, which you can sack for mana. But more importantly, all these dudes let him shoot David for 1.
You know how if this was played in a big arena, like, you know, I don't know if you watch EVO, like fighting games in Las Vegas in a big arena when they play the top 8. If this was a big arena, people in the audience would now start counting down David's life total from 18. Every time like the Flash Wrecker triggers, there would be like 17, 16. Good
Oh,
now it's like 4 damage per artifact, sure. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Like, if David runs into this kind of matchup, of course, that's not what you want to run into. I can imagine that this, like, Beanstalk would be decent against Scam and also against, like, most of, as you mentioned, right, the Delver decks. Like, if you sit down in 3-1-1, you're like, I'm looking for the win and in. There's a decent amount of legacy decks that you're happy to play against. This one, not so much.
Yeah, it's tough. Like, as you mentioned, right, like, yeah, David needs some sort of permanent hate, I think.
Maybe Nullrod even. I don't know.
Yeah, Nullrod Collector, if you name it. Nullrod actually,
that's super hard to deal with.
Even better because you can't dismember it.
Yeah. Like, how does Mikel actually deal with Nullrod in this deck?
I have no idea. Maybe Ursa Saga beatdown. That's maybe it.
That actually works a lot.
Yeah,
surprisingly
maybe you're gonna ignore it.
Just get in there. All the damage in the world. Or even just like, you know, Flash Raker. Just like still pump out some tokens, get some reach.
Oh, totally. Totally. You know, I think generally the artifact hate went down in Legacy a little bit because we don't see decks like 8 cost that often anymore.
Yeah,
Painter, 8 cost. Exactly, yeah, those type of archetypes, you know, where it was worth playing like a couple of like 2-3 anti-artifact cards in your sideboard, but like nowadays not so much, and see what happens, right? Like Mystic Forge left and right, at least in Spain, you know. If it doesn't happen in your country, then maybe good for you, but this is the reality in Spain.
This is Mystic Forge country over here.
It's so funny because, yeah, again, you know, everyone is complaining about the Riskaminator deck, and that's fair. That's fair. I also think that the deck is like way too powerful, but it's just kind of nice to see like so much Mystic Forge today. I did not think that this was gonna happen today.
Yeah, Mystic Forge, dude, there's actually so many insane printings of Mystic Forge. What's it called in Spanish? I want to know. Forja Mystica. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, not too much to say about this, but it looks like we're going to see at least 2 Mystic Forge decks in the top 8. We already saw, I think one of the Cloud Post decks also made it in, right?
Yeah, Cloud Post is in.
Painter is...
I think the Painter deck is...
Oh, no, wait, that was the previous round, so we can't actually say. Yeah, that was David Perez. He might be in...
We're, of course, rooting for the Painter player. That'd be cool. Because I also want to see like how Painter plays out versus the Mystic Forge combo.
Oh, you don't.
There's a lot of plastic getting tapped, you know, be Grindstone or Mystic Forge.
Yeah, yeah. The worst is when they have like the one-off Grindstone in the sideboard, and then they randomly get out of Karn when you have Painter. And
oh, like, shit!
Yeah. I mean, they usually don't. That's more like a thing that's other decks sometimes do, but...
I see.
Okay, so here we get a lot more tokens. We make a 1-1 Walking Ballista, sure. Why not? We have the mana. Oh, I guess we just made the tokens because we shoot for 4. And we made the Walking Ballista because we can shoot for 4. Down to 4 life. Basically 3 because of the Ballista.
Yeah. Or we can also simply attack with the Flash Rakers, no big deal. You know, there are like so many ways to how you can end this game.
Yeah, that's going to be good.
There you go.
So what is over there?
You're going to show off the Bowmasters. And the Forces.
And the Murktide.
Good magic cards. Like, if you compare, like, you know, 1 versus 1, the magic cards in the Beanstalk control deck, they are a little better than the Mystic Forge deck, but Mystic Forge deck is, you know, you can't stop. You can't stop the combo energy. It's just so much. It's so powerful.
So, with that, we have the top 8 lined up, and we're going to see how it's going to work out, who's going to play whom.
Yeah.
And from what I've heard, I've got some information. We're going to have some spicy decks in the top 8.
Sick.
And by that, I only mean one deck that we haven't seen all day.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Some people have not seen that deck, I want to say, month. Like, there's a deck that has gone missing in Legacy for quite a while.
Ninjas?
Ninjas was in the finals last year. Of the
Oh,
Legacy.
yeah, it was, yeah.
Exactly. I mean, okay, that would still count as gun missing, but
Yeah.
no, there's like a Legacy All-Star deck that we haven't really seen a lot of lately, and yeah, stay tuned. We're gonna
All right.
actually.
Chad, you gotta guess it. Chad, you gotta guess it.
We saw Cradle Control earlier, Robert. Robert's your mother's brother, by the way. Shout outs to you. We met at 4 Seasons. Really cool guy. Loving you. Absolutely cool guy.
What's up,
so
fellas?
anyway, excited to see what the top 8 is gonna look like in just a moment. I think we're gonna put it on screen any moment now. While we're waiting, shoutouts once again to Ultimate Guard, big sponsor of this entire weekend. Like, there are so many things going on here in the background, in the foreground, out there that you don't know about, that Ultimate Guard has made possible. Even just like having these backup feature matches and everything. Thank you so much. Also, the city of Naron gives us this beautiful location, and also not only inside, but also like remember last night when we went to the beach house?
Yeah.
To Adrian's beach house and his wife's? Whoa, like this is Galicia, Naron. Come here next year. If you didn't come here this year, like, what are you doing? At least you're watching the stream, so there's something. But come back next year. And most importantly, MTG playmats. These guys put so much into the Spanish Legacy Championships. Yeah. They were like, yeah, we want to see this flourish. We want to see, like, Mystic Forge all day. No, thank you so much. MTGplaymats.com. Get your playmats over there and have a great time. As we are still waiting, Kai, I wanna say, what was a worse experience? Playing against Eldrazi in Eldrazi Winter? Or playing against... Did you play when Flash was a thing?
No, I didn't.
2007?
That was, yeah.
Columbus, Cheaper Columbus? No, okay.
Oh, no. I started Legacy in 2011.
Also, barely... Okay, so to me, you were like the Rock Delver guy always.
Yeah, I think I started when Mental Misstep got banned. Finally. Yeah, that's when I started.
That must be in August or September 2011.
Exactly, yeah. Like, I started like a month before it got banned.
Did you go to GP Amsterdam in 2011?
No, I missed that one. I missed that one, unfortunately. I started playing Legacy in Japan, in Tokyo when I was there. And it was a crazy time because I had my deck ready. And when I booked my flight to Japan, I think probably in that week or so, like, Misstep got banned. I didn't know about it, and I went to the first tournament in Japan. I played Mental Misstep in the first couple of turns, and then I immediately got a judge call in Japanese, and it's like, yeah, like, what is this dude doing,
Like, it was banned like while you were on the airplane. It was like the year of 2011 when we didn't have any kind of communication. So
absolutely,
it was before the widespread adoption of the
internet.
was
really strange. Let me tell you that much.
I get it.